Have you ever wondered why the kinder someone is, the more likely they are to be taken for granted? Thyu was a gentle donkey who believed that kindness was his greatest strength. Every morning, before the sun even rose, he would stand at the entrance of the valley, waiting to see who might need his help that day. He felt proud, thinking that all the other animals depended on him, that they cared about him. The horse asked him to carry heavy logs, the goat relied on him to pull carts through the mud, and the cow needed him to guard the fence under the scorching sun. Even when he was exhausted, Thyu kept smiling and never said no. But what he didn't realize was this: sometimes people don't take advantage of you because you're weak, but because you're too kind and you keep allowing it to happen. Day after day, Thyu continued living that way, always giving more than he could truly bear. He helped the horse carry wood, helped the goat pull carts, helped the cow guard the fence, and helped anyone who asked for a favor. At first, Thyu felt happy because he believed he was important. But over time, that kindness was no longer a joy. It became a silent weight pressing down on his back. Thyu's food grew less and less because he often gave the best portion to others. His time to rest became shorter because the moment he lay down, someone would call his name. His back ached, his legs trembled, yet Thyu still forced a smile as if everything was fine. The saddest part was that he did not dare to refuse. He was afraid that if he said no, everyone would be disappointed and stop caring about him. So Thyu kept sacrificing, kept staying silent, and kept losing himself little by little, just to hold on to a kind of affection he mistook for love. One morning, Thyu woke up feeling completely drained. His legs trembled, his back burned with pain, and his stomach was empty because he had given his last portion of food to the goat the evening before. He tried to stand, but every movement felt as heavy as if a rock were pressing down on his body. Just then, the horse appeared at his door and said hurriedly, "Thyu, I need you to carry a pile of wood for me today. It's urgent." Thyu looked at his shaking legs, then at the horse's strong body. Deep inside, he wanted to say he couldn't. He wanted to rest, to be cared for, to hear someone ask a simple question, "Are you okay?" But in the end, as always, Thyu lowered his head and replied, "Okay, I'll help." He dragged the heavy load of wood across the valley. Every step sent a sharp pain through his body. Every breath felt like a battle. When he finally finished, Thyu no longer had the strength to stand. He collapsed onto the cold ground, gasping for air, his eyes closing from exhaustion. Around him, the valley remained noisy, as if nothing had happened. The horse laughed and chatted with friends. The goat grazed peacefully with its young. The cow rested comfortably in the shade. But no one turned back to look at Thyu. No one asked if he was in pain. No one brought him even a single blade of grass. If you've ever tried to please everyone to the point of forgetting yourself, keep listening to this story, because the moment Thyu fell was also the moment he began to see the most painful truth. That night, Thyu lay alone on the cold ground, his body aching so badly he could barely move. But the pain in his heart was even greater. He wasn't sad because he was tired. He was sad because, after everything he had done, no one had truly seen him. In the quiet darkness, Thyu began to replay his days. He remembered waking up earlier than everyone else, pulling carts through the mud, carrying wood across rocky paths, and standing under the scorching sun just to make others more comfortable. He remembered the times he stayed hungry, but still gave away his food, the times he was in pain but forced himself to smile. And then, a question slowly formed in his mind. Do they really love me? Or do they only love what I do for them? That question left Thyu silent for a long time. The more he thought about it, the more he realized a painful truth. If they truly loved him, they would have come back when he fell. If they truly cared, they would have asked if he was okay. If they truly appreciated him, they wouldn't have left him alone on the cold ground after he had exhausted himself for them. For the first time, Thyu understood that not everyone who needs you truly cares about you. Some people only show up when they want something. Some requests may sound gentle, but when repeated every day, they can slowly take away a person's health, time, and even self-respect. That night, Thyu no longer saw kindness the same way. He realized that being kind doesn't mean sacrificing yourself until you're empty. Helping others doesn't mean abandoning yourself. And real love will never ask someone to suffer just to prove their worth. The next morning, as sunlight gently poured over the valley, Thyu remained lying still in front of his small hut. He didn't rush to get up like he used to, nor did he run to the gate to see who might need help. For the first time, Thyu allowed himself to rest. After a while, the horse approached with a familiar expression and said, "Thyu, I need you to carry some bundles of wood today. Come on, it's urgent." In the past, just hearing the words urgent would have been enough for Thyu to jump to his feet, no matter how much pain he was in. But this time, he looked at the horse for a long moment and gently replied, "No, I need to rest today." The horse froze, as if it had just heard something impossible. "What did you say? You always help me." Thyu remained calm. "That's true, but today, I can't." The horse stood there for a few seconds, waiting for Thyu to change his mind, waiting for him to apologize like he always did. But Thyu didn't lower his head anymore. He didn't over-explain, and he wasn't angry. He simply sat there, quiet yet firm. Then the goat came, asking him to pull a cart. The cow came, asking him to guard the fence. The dog came, asking for something else. Each time, Thyu gave the same answer: "No, I need to take care of myself first." At first, the animals were annoyed and surprised. But what hurt Thyu the most was that the valley carried on as usual. The horse carried its own wood. The goat pulled its own cart. The cow guarded its own fence. In that moment, Thyu realized something important. They had never truly needed him to survive. They had simply grown used to having someone who would always sacrifice for them. From the day he learned to say no, Thyu began to change little by little. He started eating his own share of food first, resting when his body felt tired, and no longer rushing over every time someone called his name. At first, many animals in the valley felt uncomfortable because they were used to a Thyu who was always ready to sacrifice. But Thyu was no longer afraid. He understood that taking care of himself was not selfish, it was the only way to avoid losing himself. As time passed, Thyu's legs no longer trembled. His back hurt less. His eyes became calmer, more at peace. He was still kind, still willing to help when it truly mattered. But he no longer allowed his kindness to become a reason for others to take advantage of him. And strangely enough, when Thyu stopped trying to please everyone, the other animals began to look at him with respect. Don't spend your whole life trying to earn other people's approval. Your value is not measured by how much you can endure, but by how much you respect yourself. If this story resonates with you, comment G.